Londe mi mono. Mama, akana ma. Londe ma, da londe ma o. Londe ma, da londe ma. Longo ye, longo ye. Luna mwe, londe mi mono. Londe mi mono, abade bobo. Londe ma, abade bobo. Londe ma, abade bobo. Kunanga ya longo. Ewa, wana ewa, ewa, ewa. Kuna mi mwamie, kuna wega londe limo, ya londe manga bade bobo. Ana de bona oga egina, ana de bona oga egina. Ewa, ana ewa, londe mwana mwe. Londe mwana mwe. Me wera egina ye. Me wera egina ye. Kono egana, longe ganyanga. Ana egana longo karenye. Dua longo bo anama. Dua longo bo. Ana ele lenga bemwe. Ana ele lenga bemwe. Ya kuna longo miwa. Ena wega londe lima. Ya londe ma ade ibobo. Ya londe ma amade ibobo. Ana elo. Ana elo. Ana elo. Ewala. Ana ewa. Ewala. Ewa. Londe manunamuye. Londe manunamuye. Ana elo. Elawa. Yena we. Lomo miwa. Kunu na mwiwe londe mimoe. Ya dempanga bade ibobo. Ana kwetumo. Ana kwetumo. Ana kwetumo. Ana kwetumo. Ana kwetumo. Ana adopanywe. Adopanywe. Ana mo adopanyo. Malo na wasanyo. Malo na wasanyo. Sambela juwa ba walongo. Sambela juwa ba walongo. Enga na wale na mombo kabalu nebubo. Ewa na ewa lone manu na miye. Ewa lone manu na miye. Lone manu na miye. Mwatanga onganwa taona duale ngabemwe duale kuna koge nuneruko tawalie dunyangela deka ngapebo galodebo dawa kweda liba mwalo gayele liba teo gayele liba ngolo dale nyarela diwo ngwebri nyamwe damongo prie nyanga duba duga monukwe gedale yamalo wo bobaleye bobaleye pelaga yetebo bobaleye pelaga yetebo yamrio ya yamo pabale mema malone bobaleye yanga yamre pepe vale yanga yamre pepe vale yanga Redanga delu molebo da denga ba denga ma yamodia de jake ya ba lungwe ya no wo vale yanga ya no wo vale yanga kwela ga ye debo ewa na ewa lo de manu na muye ewa na ewa lo de manu na muye Anaewa Analine, Analine, where galo nebo, Analine, where galo nebo, Anaelo, Malono, na
Good evening, good evening. Welcome. I'm Alfonso Ziansot of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Good evening, good evening. So I want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. This is the Diaspora Informative News Magazine, Liberia Public Radio, and this is All Things Considered. It comes your way every Wednesday right here on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. Of course, I am your homo servant, your host here, and God presenter, Alfonso Zienso, right here. Together this evening, we'll discuss issues of national concern. Of course, the purpose of this network is not to leave you beyond, to make you to form part of our evening conversations about the country. And this is why we do not bring feelings and emotions onto this network, but we discuss the issue. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Welcome to Lpr-Tv Live. The analysts will be here very shortly. And by the way, the culture of Liberia is our utmost concern. Let's welcome our viewers, our listeners across country, the globe, wherever you are. We say good morning, we say good evening, good afternoon to Mr. Gibson Pay, Rosalind Regland, hopefully I'm calling that name, Angel Brown, Junior Griat, of course, Sekou Kroman, and our own prime time man, Kafumba Kroma is right here. Dijawle Kampao is based in the liberal. These are the liberal. He's in the liberal state. San Diego, California as a whole is a liberal. Isaac Rule is in the house from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Rule, how you doing? Edwin Fremont, welcome to the show. Just do us a favor. Just hit the share button and invite someone at your company because Lpr-Tv is on. 6, 5. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. As usual, this is what we do, and your commitment to this network cannot be overemphasized. And so we always like to have you here. To Macklin, to see you, to Muna Soba, good to be here, always here. Thank you so much for your time, your commitment to this network. We really don't have anything to give you guys, but your presence here is what keeps us motivated, courage, and tools and ties and any other thing you think about to be us here. And of course, one of the young guy in this business, a young Liberians out there flying the colors of the country, to Mr. John. Singwit is right here joining us this evening. Joseph K is based in the liberal state as well. Welcome. The house seems to be the packed one here this evening. The analysts are going to be here. We're going to discuss a wide range of issue and news making headlines. Your take is getting down to the wire. Inside Liberia, the country is on edge, waiting to see the first nominations or appointments of government officials. Please hit the share button and invite someone at your company. Let's share this for us. This is the only thing we want to do. Mr. Moses, Mr. Wilson Boyle, good evening. Thank you for being here this evening. I am Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. As usual, Wednesday, right behind the microphone here. When I'm in charge, trust me, you have a conversation. Not the liberal who always sanction voices because he wants to be heard. This is not who we are. This is what we do. Welcome to the show. This is the sound that introduces the program, All Things Considered. Good evening. So I want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am your host, your anchor presenters right here in the East Coast of the Liberia Public Radio, right here in the USA. I am Alfonso Zayn. So right here this evening, together, both we, us, and everybody, we will have a conversation about our country, our community, society, and what is happening across the globe. We want to welcome our viewers here this evening. Please do us a favor, just hit a share button. Sometimes it becomes very difficult when you are multitasking and you are your own producer, presenter, and everything all in one. Trust me, all in one. This is why you see computer to make sure you want to make sure the audio is perfect. You want to monitor to see what is happening on live screen so you can have that effective line of communication. The audio is something is not right, which of course we know you here always help us to get to us to do what we're supposed to do. If it is not right, your signal, your tweet, and this is why we always love the feedback as well, because that helps us to do the right thing. Just in case if we are not doing anything right, that also help us. So this is why we always monitor to having multiple devices. Like it's a cost. Trust me, it's a cost. Brand current and internet crazy. But this is why we are committed of doing. Cause good evening to welcome. Good to have all of you here. It's good to see you. By the way, beautiful and happy May week. Today is Wednesday, right? Yeah. This weekend, not weekend, during the week, yesterday, day before yesterday, it was a little bit crazy here in the East Coast. That's the beauty of the USA. We said we wanted to come in the coast. So here we are in the cold. So we have to deal with it as it is. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, always good to see you. Your interactions on this network, trust me, it is what gets us going. I don't care how tired, exhausted. We can also push our 8 and 16 hour. Trust me. This is just a community initiative. Very suddenly we receive, we get fine, we don't get contribution. That is okay. We are not going to impose taxation on people. We more or less prefer people to use their good conscience as to what we are doing. If it is serviceable to them, if it is good for the country, then of course you use your own judgment. We intend and we will now be a beggar. This is why we always try to stand in the gap to discuss, to talk those issues. But a good thing about you, for which we admire you on this network, not deliberate, who always in the business to sanction voices. If you don't talk his talking point, then he doesn't agree with you. And we will not give them chance. We are talking about a sovereign nation, so whether it's developed or not. We do understand and believe the diversity of views and opinions will be expressed. And this is why it is so crucial and important to find yourself somewhere to you will go to listen to different sides of the story, regardless of you like or dislike. That will give you the opportunity to make an informed decision. But because just how the politics is being divisive and polarized, the media industry is no exception. And you know that. Go on some other network. They do not want certain people to be heard. They do not want certain people to exercise their constitutional authority. They see that as being dictatorial, but that's not what it says. People have the right to express, agree, and disagree, and put the judicial system to test. But people become so much selective in that when the judicial process works in their favor, then the court system is right. But when the guys take a decision that does not align with the political ideology, then the court is corrupt. So then who is corrupt? You just want only for it to work for you. That's not how society works, and that's not how we should treat Liberia. I think we must find ourselves on a playing level field where it will work for all and not few, and not just only the selective. This is the problem we have, and this problem will continue to exist because each and everyone tries in his or her own way to protect their own alligators simply because of the future political dividend that is ahead. How can we have a country like that? And not to mention, the entertainment in the media industry has added more problem to the situation here. But entertainment, don't get me wrong, is a great and good component of society. But we here at LPR strongly feel the entertainment aspect is too way over the top, and there are a lot of MC Caro out there. Hold me tight and all of that. So when we come here, we tend to discuss the issues, the bread and butter issue, and hold each and everyone accountable, including us as chief facilitator and you as a viewer. You as an online note, your tweet, your comment, your calls, all must also be put under the microscope. No one should be above the law. And that's why most of the people, not that we don't reach out to them, we do, but they want to be micromanaged. Here we do not. There is no public network that I can say. Every institution and either their head or bulk of the people, they find themselves one side and they badge and slam the other side, not giving them the opportunity to get their version. We are not judgmental on this network. We discuss it and we make the conversation fair, balanced, and proportionate. We invite you, we extend an invitation to you. It's at your own volition to you choose to come and not to come. What we cannot do is to subscribe to your way of doing things. This is an institution. And that's one of the reasons the faith in society is moving so fast, because institutions are being compromised either by the head or bulk of the majority of the members, and they intend to do the wrong side of things. We cannot have a vibrant, an open society where the media tend to be the enforcers. The media industry, or no media that I know, is a law enforcer. So we do discuss and facilitate the high core conversation, not necessarily suit your political taste. But we are not going to be judgmental. We will give you the opportunity to get your side of the story. How many of the media industry in today's world politics in Liberia and other parts willing to go that extensive in giving people the opportunity? You hear about DJ Powell and you just run at a conclusion to hear about Morris and you say, yes, Morris is a thief man. Without you placing the courtesy call to get the version, to get Morris's versions of the story. This is how the media has become dangerous. Is that good for the country? The question, the answer is here. Interestingly, the politics in Liberia today, there's no old, there's no medium, there's no young, there's no male, there's no female. Everyone is coming out of the shade to put a defense line of their choice in politics. Sometimes extreme words are used, emotions all factoring in. So where are we heading as a people, as a nation? This is quite interesting. This is not something that I usually do, but it is interesting because I listened to that and it captured my attentions and imaginations as to how the politics, as usual, is being conducted. And trust me, the society of Liberia today is not of yesterday. You will not take advantage of people no longer. Young, medium, or male, female. And even the young teenagers, they have their own versions, a way of expressing themselves, regardless about the situations. This is your informative news magazine, All Things Considered. When we come back, we're going to hit on that. But in the meantime, as usual, making news proportionate, right after this break, these are people that are keeping the work of this industry turning. Let's take a quick commercial break, and I will be right back.
Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I'm a customer of Uncle Musa. I came here to get some things from grocery. Their things are so nice. They never get expired. They are the best quality. They have the best price ever anyone can get. They have so many things like cream, like meat, a lot of kind of meat. We have so many kind, and it's the best grocery store I've ever seen here in Wood. We are located at the 65th and Woodland. If you want, I really appreciate you guys to come over to come and patronize with us because they sell the best quality.
Uncle Musa's Groceries on Woodland Avenue, 6523 Woodland Avenue, Philadelphia, PA. Musa's store is composed of varieties of African food. as well as Americans, but predominantly African food. You have dried fish, you have cassava, you have yams, you have plantains, bananas, and Musa even goes out of his way to pay people extra to cut the potato grains for customers to save them extra time. We have deeper, we have fufu, we have the refrigeration center, then we also have cosmetics. This is the place to come in Philadelphia. If you come to Philly, you don't reach to Uncle Musa's groceries, you have not made your trip complete. Welcome, and we look forward to seeing you sponsoring our business. Thank you.
This is Uncle Musa's store, 6523 Woodland Avenue. It's the only store, a grocery store, that deals with African stuff. Anything African thing, you can get in Uncle Musa's store. I am from Igbo in Nigeria. So, ndị Igbo dum, onye ọbụla wụ onye Igbo, ya bịa na Uncle Musa's store, 6523 Woodland Avenue. Ọ ebe ọ ga-enweta anything wụ ihe ndị Igbo na-eri.
Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The business, we have a business on grocery store or African food, all West African food from Liberia, mostly Liberian food. And we have a palm oil imported from Liberia, and we have a very good customer service. If a customer buy from Uncle Musa Grocery, you get bonus certain times, and things are very reasonable. We have a good palm oil. Anything you want from Africa, West Africa, you can get it from Uncle Musa Grocery. We do retail and wholesale. So you can visit, and we have a couple of stores in Philadelphia. We have one on 6523 Woodland Avenue, and another one is a clothing store on 6519 Woodland Avenue. And we have another one on Upper Darby, Gary Road. So you're welcome for shopping. Everything is nice. Customer service perfect. So that's it.
Do you want to share your events with the world? Why not contact us? We are Liberia Public Radio, LPR. We are the specialists in advertisements, commercials, radio and TV services. We have the professionals that can help you sell your products and provide live coverage of all events such as weddings, conventions, graduations, reunions, anniversaries, sports, birthdays, baby showers, religious activities, funerals, and many more. Take your phone right now and call any of the following numbers: 682-433-8802, 267-648-6089, 484-786-3337, or 916-533-2048. Our customer service representatives are waiting to take your calls and give you the needed assistance. It is LPR, the home of excellent media services and your friends in business. Hello listeners, this is Mazola, the lover boy. I'd like to invite you to this exciting program. It is called Dancing for Jesus. It is intended to play beautiful inspirational music to help you turn your life to God. Join me on every Sunday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is our way of showing appreciation to God for the good things He has done for us and continue to do. Don't miss this opportunity. Join Mazola Gizi on every Sunday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the program Dancing for Jesus. Please be there because I will be here to rock it up for you.
Okay, there you have it. Those are some of the commercials. Thank you so much. Those are some of the programs. Dancing for Jesus is always on Sunday at 11 o'clock local time, East Coast time, with Manzura Gizi from Philadelphia, to where he usually brings some beautiful, inspirational gospel music to also lift up your soul. So politics is not just only the talking point on this network. We'll talk wide range of issues, and very shortly, the analyst will be joining me. And of course, all things considered, so we will open our lines as well to you as a viewers and audience so that you can participate in tonight's conversation. Let's do a quick run-through on some of the news making headlines across the globe and other parts of the world. According to France 24, Senegal Constitutional Council rules opposition leader Songo's presidential filing incomplete. Kenya and Uganda added to the foreign degree crackdown list at Nigerian universities. DR Congo President Tashidit wins second term with 73% of the vote. Wow. 73% of the vote. He wins his second term. It was just reported like a minute ago, according to France 24 cable outlet. What we say, congratulations. In every race, there must be a winner. If you don't win, probably you just didn't do what you're supposed to do. Your finishing point was just poor. Your communication, your message did not resonate with the voter. So it is why it is. So the president, the sitting president of DR Congo, getting his second term as president of that country. We say congratulations to them. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners, all the analysts. The link is out there as well. And if you, for any reason, you want to incorporate yourself here this evening, so you want to form part of this conversation tonight, then let us know. You can throw your email and we will bring you on as well. This is All Things Considered, airing right here from the Diaspora Informative News Magazine from the East Coast. I am Alfonso Zinso, your host. So, the politics in Liberia seems not to have a borderline, neither a boundary, and there is no status of limitations. All young, medium, people of all ages are now monitoring keenly, listening to what is happening in the future politics inside Liberia, regardless aftermath of the elections, which the results are announced. In a couple of days, week, the sitting president-elect will be inducted into office. Each and every one is in the business to protect his or her own alligator, especially when your talking point does not suit their political taste. Blood pressures, cholesterols go over the roof. There are some setting the rail on now. They are willing to fight on. It was quite interesting. And I know many of you have seen it. And I just thought of sharing this with you this evening. How the aggressive and progressive people of all ages, regardless of their gender, race, they are involved in the conversations of the Liberian politics. Not holding down, not standing down. Facing be it a talk show, a radio, to podcast, or live screamer to express his or her view on to what is happening in Liberia. It's interesting. Viewer descriptions advise some extreme languages will be used, but I wouldn't see them that are offensive to affect the community's rules of the social media. So while perusing through media, social media, as usual, I managed to bump into this, and I thought it was quite fascinating and interesting. Perhaps you, I'm quite sure, you are saying it. How each and everyone, somehow, some way, are so close to their political institutions or party that they support or believes in, whether it is based on ideology or based on those that are held in these institutions. That is another question to answer. But they are very vehement in their argument and setting some rare lines in their own thinking, in their own judgments, and how they feel and how other politicians addresses other politicians regardless of their status, and making it crystal clear. Don't do that. Don't try it. I don't like it. He's not a child. So it's Wednesday. The weather is beautiful here in the east, and I'm quite sure certainly whatever you are, hopefully you're having the next weather. So let's incite entertainment, as entertainment is a great component of media itself. But let's listen and see what happens. This is the beginning. Let's watch this tape, and I'll be right back.
But you are saying causing a man too.
Yeah. Jaka stupid. A mana boyigu. Nasa. A mana in Sabwaga. Wagana baby. Tell Wagana where you get the money from. Can't give me the money I can. You got who?
So it's not about it for you get to ask Waka about you got the money from.
Yes. Daba. He not got no right to ask Waka.
For what?
Wagana stay with him. Wagana man for himself. Yeah. Wagana stay with Yaga.
Because some people say before Baga could become president-elect, he complains, say, you don't get money, but now they get put in the fee, they finish electing and he get independent money. Maybe that's what you get asking question for.
No, another. Baga get own money, a personal money. Here, Baga get money, a get money. Here, you got a frosque in the country. Hey, who? What you trying to say? Huh? Yagakora, what you trying to say? You who? That Rama bro, you eat him be with a monasa. Don't do it to Baga Gomatia, don't do it to him. He's sitting now way. I say,
that's scared of Yaga.
I'm not scared of you. The book is scared of you. But I'm not scared of Baga. I'm not scared of Yaga. I tell you, Yaga. The thing was to say, the teacher will tell you know the party, you know the party, it will tell you something that thing why you're not supposed to tell. For what? You know the party say what Yaga?
But somebody will say Yaga call about the to we are, you should tell the same thing to we are. And you are the same people too behind you know the party and Baga, you're happy when you're saying that we are too, but now you're saying the Baga on your vest.
Me are not happy. I was not happy. And you so here, I said, but they all mayor. What did they get a real he? A young quasi president. What can I be in a country like that? A get be scared. And you so talking like that. When you can call us, I said, but who the human be like? It can be quasi in study president. It can be a can no fear in him. And you so say like that. Yeah. Why am I not carried to Baga? Am I not go around Baga way? Yaga, if you know what I know.
What a minute started already.
If you know what I know. Hey, your man upon you go, your plan upon you go. I tell you from today and today, never don't insult Baga. Don't shut United Party. Don't insult them. And Yaga voice made me vex. Yeah. And then the other work and Yaga doing. He's shutting the president.
So besides besides the president, if maybe you can carry somebody different too, you'll be happy?
I will not be happy.
You'll not be happy.
I can't tell the Cindy because he might be we are one. Yeah, I will tell the Cindy. But I'm telling the people, the poor are afraid of Yaga, me and not afraid of him.
You never thought of Yaga?
I'm not afraid of him. The thing where inside eating him might be blood, drinking him might be blood. When you go there buying water, a little nigga, a tongue, a mona bring it to Baga. Don't bring it to United Party. You who? Your man upon you
So that what you can say you want to be you know what being in a unit party government, you know being a government. You don't want to be on so that whenever you doing by you can talk.
This is the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. The liberal progressive is here. High defender call of Ambassador Jose Numa. Don't bring it to Bwaka. Don't bring it to Bwaka. The liberal. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. So. Thank you for having me.
The politics in Liberia is quite interesting, and everybody is now like nobody wants to allow anything to just slide and go away.
Yeah, it's interesting, Mr. So, and this is the analogy that I can use on this here. Back in the day, between 1979 and 1980, immediately after the rice riot, there was a radio program at night, I think it was out of a Sunday night, and the interviewer at the market on Baker Market, right opposite BTC, and these women were saying, "We said Birabo, Tobo said Birabo. We said right, Tobo said right. That in business now, the man will go. He got to go." A week before that, Tobo had offered some notebooks, we call them copybook back home, to some student, elementary student, and they refuse it and booing. You know, these kinds of stuff, they are very, very bad. Yaka Koluba, yes, we're all, every one of us are responsible. Because when he was doing it to a president, none of us stood up to say this is not right. And so this kinds of thing is not being transferred. We knew they was coming. It was just a matter of time. But what I want to say to Honorable Koluba, at one time I called on, and I'm going to divulge this here tonight. I talked to you about it, but I never divulged it in public before.
Right.
Some time ago, maybe a year or so ago, I called Honorable Koluba, and at that time he was having issue with Costa, and I thought I'd try to be the mediator. And Koluba told me, the next time you call me to try to mediate between Costa and myself, I'm going to go join CDC. I said, you're to your business. I don't want you going there.
He said to you.
I said, Koluba, I beg you. Whatever y'all do, you're quiet, but I don't want you to join CDC. He said, oh, you're a very sensible person. But at that time, we know, but now I think Koluba has gotten most of the thing he was struggling for. Most of the people that sees his baby formulas and all those kinds of things, they all are going out of business. Yaka Koluba stood, I don't think the weight of his politics is what I appreciate, but he stood his ground. I don't think it was the same way that I would do it, the language and the procedures, and I don't approve of it. I frown on it, but he stood the ground. In terms of politics, he was exposing. You remember he was at the Capitol building holding fresh, brand new notes. He said, people said they don't got money to pay our people, but look at the amount of money I got. They just gave me money. Fresh. Those are kind of advocacy that Yeke is very good at. But now for you to come on, the same person that you used to have conversation with, the same person that your representative, you go in that building and talk to Ambassador Baka anytime you want. So I think Yeke needs to change his style. He's still going to have to help us. Yeke Koluba is of great help to the country. If he can continue to expose little ills here and there, he's a very great help. But the process now, Yeke Koluba and President Weah, when Liberians look at them, they're about the senior age group. You can do that. But to bring it to somebody who's old enough to be your father, it's now paining a lot of people.
So are you saying there should be an exception? He can go ahead to do it because of age?
No, not an exception. What I'm saying is that he did those things. I don't approve of the process and the way he went about it. And that's the same thing he's trying to do here. Basically, it's the same. President Waka, you say you are living on borrowed money. Where you get money from now? Good question. But that's something you, as a lawmaker, if you want that to be processed, you call people to make it into a hearing. Wait until you take office. When the new administration comes in, when a new group comes in, they will, sooner or later they will come before your committee. They will come before you asking for something. Those things can be brought up. But to now go back into the same position, I will do it this way. Remember, Ambassador Baka is not just an ordinary president. He's an older president. And Liberian culture is not dead yet. So if Yaka Koluba think what he did to President Weah, if you think he can carry on with that with President Bakai, not the pressure and things like that, but the culture would disabuse him, and he would be hurt very not physically, but in terms of politics. If he doesn't stop and approach it, take a different route, the culture, and continue to do this, people will think that he's violating the culture because he and Joseph Baka, they are not about the same age group. That's how people are going to view it. And this old lady, she's not talking about Baka being a president and you're cussing out. No, she's thinking he's older than you. Where is the respect? That's where she's coming from, Mr. Soul.
So since this is all things considered, it's better to have these sort of conversations. And it was quite fascinating to see and the old ladies expressing her view as to things that she heard from Representative Koluba. Now, can anybody mediate to change Koluba, who he is and how you're going to be? The way he's going to conduct things?
No. The only thing that's going to change Koluba is the voters themselves. If the voters in District 10 go and have a meeting with Yeke Koluba and explain to him.
So why these meetings, when Koluba were doing all of these things here with the sitting president, why these meetings, why there was no intervention?
Mr. So I just told you, it is not about the advocacy. The president advocacy on behalf of Liberian, many of us appreciate it. The issue now,
the manner in which it was expressed, is that what you're saying?
No. The manner,
so why did he appreciate it?
I frown on those processes and the manner in which it was expressed. I frown on that, and I still do. But here is the difference here. President, Liberian people, they have a brain of trying to separate issues. President Weah is a president, but at the same time, he's a young man. Let me finish. I don't want to have a fight with you. This is not that I'm my business. You can't wear coat suit here tonight. I don't want to fight with you. Right now, I'm in better position to discuss Liberia than you, because right now, anything we're looking from you is Siri. I speak in the real Liberian English. Look how I address. So please let me address your question fully, and we don't need to fight on it. Oh, you're coming again out on me. Okay, that's good. I'm ready. But here's the point. On a very serious note, Mr. So, Yeke Koluba and Ambassador Bakai, they are not in the same age group. So I'm saying why the presidencies were being disrespected, as far as I'm concerned, on President Weah by Yeke Koluba, which we all frown on. It can still be disrespected on President Waka. We're all still going to be frowning on. But it has been wrenching up because Yeke Koluba is old enough. I mean, Waka is old enough to be Yeke Koluba's father. So anybody, whether they voted for Baka or not, if Yeke Koluba seen in the eyes of the people of being disrespectful to Ambassador Baka, not the presidency, but the man himself, many people will frown on it because that is not our culture.
I try to grab something here, and I will try to give you enough time as I can. But all of these things are important to have these conversations to know what is really happening in our society. The first branch of government, which is the both lower and upper, They are the wisdom and the wise people, but some of the wise people way of doing things is how. So is it because he and President we are in the same age group? So uh, was that a reason whether there was no intervention? And do you think Yeka Koluba was change his way? Now, those questions, some of those things he Koluba were asking, is it approach diff or wrong, or was he asking some legitimate questions?
Yeka Koluba, let me say it again from my perspective. Yeka Koluba advocacy in terms of trying to shine light on some of the bigger ills in the government or in the country. We all appreciate that. Now, let me go back to President Weah and Yeka Koluba. President Weah and Yeka Koluba, President Weah is older than Yeka Koluba, but not by much. So Liberians, the older folks, can probably see those things and say, oh, young people just arguing among themselves. They're causing each other up, something like that. But when that cussing and that form of disrespect, they were not even looking at Yeka Koluba disgracing the presidency, not just President Weah, but the office itself. Most people were not even looking at that. Only those that care for the kind of constitutional issue and things like that. But now, Ambassador Bakar, as old as he is, the man who is old enough to be Yeka Koluba's grandfather, and Yeka Koluba, knowing our culture, even people in Grand Gita that didn't vote for President Bakar, they would not appreciate Yeka Koluba try to be disrespectful to him. I'm just saying simply, there's two issues here. The presidency that is going to be occupied by President Bakar can be, people will say, Yeka Koluba, when he does respecting that office, meaning Liberian will not say anything. But as long as it crosses that and it comes to the personal issue of Ambassador Bakar, people will frown on it. And that's exactly what this old lady is going out of breath, almost fainting about.
Okay, the Liberal Progressive in the house is Jones Otavio Malice saying is the independent guy. Oh my God, the ceasefire is broken. The ceasefire is broken. Is the independent mind on this network? We need to discuss all of these issues.
Why you giving these people this kind of title? Independent, legendary. Why are you giving them this kind of title when they have not even exhibit any kinds of form of independence? This is the man who stood here and want to bring capital punishment to Liberia, and you say he's independent, Mr. Soul. But anyway, it's your show. You run it the way you want to run it.
You done?
Yeah.
Okay. Jones, welcome. Sister Guaya, good evening. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Let's have a conversation. That's not going to be a predominant conversation here, but when I listened to that tape, it was quite fascinating to capture my imagination. I know it's been seen, so to have that, and I'm wondering whether there will be a change. Okay, guys, this is all things considered, of course. It is perfectly suited to pick your own topic and to discuss a lot of issues. We're seeing a lot of lists going around, and some names consistently appears on those lists. Ultimately, we have been told the official list is going to be coming over, and interestingly, we are hearing about yet to be verified that there are going to be some sort of great accommodations on all of the players, institutions that supported Ambassador Boyka, and that's something he will do. But in the long term, they're going to be a major to reshuffle. We will wait and see what all happens. Let me go into the suburb of Rhode Island, where Jones Male Otavios is standing by in the city of Pawtucket, just a few blocks away from me. Jones, good evening.
How are you, sir?
Great, good to have you here. Today is what day? Today is the 10th or 11th? Today's the 10th, right?
Today, yeah.
Yes.
Wow. So how many more days for the hand to be raised? I do sonorous work. We get 12 more. Is that 12 more days?
I think so.
12 more days. I just got a list coming in here, and your name is on that list. Good for us. Good for LPR. Okay. let's have a conversation here. What is happening within this airspace with respect to what is the trending thing that seems to be eye-catching from your end with respect to what is happening in Liberia? Oh wow, Chief Samson Toh. So why the men want to talk and you prepare your county? Is that why?
Well, we are accustomed to this already, and we fear nothing. We're going to move forward. I just want to remind the liberal of Article 15. Every person shall have the right to freedom of expression, being fully responsible for the abuse thereof. This right shall not be curtailed, restricted, or enjoyed by government, save during an emergency, etc., etc. Article 15 did not tell her about whether someone is old and whether it has some traditional politicians in there. Article 15 did not tell us that when you owe, and so we cannot express our feelings, that we came from the same tribal background. Article 15 did not tell us that somebody is above the article of expressions. So I think Yeke is expressing his constitutional rights. The manner in which he is expressing it, I might disagree, but he's supposed to be held accountable for his utterances. And so if the Unity Party and its star are annoyed about what Yaka Kolba is saying, well, they have the right to take him to court to justify why he say what he says. But I think he has the right to his own expressions. And so I don't think Yaka Kolba has gone out of line.
So well, quickly here. Okay,
yeah.
no,
yeah. So okay, come in.
So quickly, there's no what violations? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't think he has violated anything, in my opinion, according to Article 15 of our Constitution. Maybe personally, I might not like the approach, but constitutionally, he in good standing.
In good standing.
Yes. So for what is my
Yeah, okay. Let me see what else Sissy get a take on it, and then we can go to some of our tabata and talking point here. And the reason I inserted this here because I saw the old man. That was quite interesting, to see what is happening. So it suggests that it's not like 10 years ago. People are involved into what is happening in today's world, whether the present way in the urban, rural Liberia, whatever it is. So Goya, good evening.
How are you doing?
With the Air Force. For your mercy. Now, you listen to the Lavier? She was turning the car.
I don't know. I think a few things. I think the liberals said that District 10 people are the ones that are supposed to call Yeke to have a meeting and discuss with him. District 10 people already did that through their votes. The man defeated somebody who the president and the vice president raised their hand. Remember, President Weah went to Oro Market to personally campaign against George Weah. I mean, the president campaign against Yeke. No, stop, Mama, to campaign against Yeke. And Yeke still defeated him and the vice president and Josephine Davis. So, District 10 people made up their mind. Look, I don't know why we want to be so timely about situation. If we truly say it is about the respect of the presidency, the age of the person who occupies the presidency should not matter. If it was good or if it was palatable for George Weah, it should be just as much digestible for Joseph Boakai. This thing about politics and about bringing in cultures, they are very conflicting. The man has to win an election. He is not appointed by the elders. His constituents are the ones he's accountable to. When Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and all these other people on the fringe Republican side say they're obnoxious things, They're saying it because they got to be re-elected. Politics is about being elected. You cannot administer if you're not elected. If you think I'm lying, ask Alexander Cummings to tell you where 100 days deliverable going to be as president. You cannot deliver if you don't win elections. And so look, I'll tell you this. Everybody have their style. Whatever gets Yeke Koluba to bring bread to his district, that's it. And it's not like, look, this is what I'm really saddened by. The Unity Party people knew of Yeke's strategy. It's not like Yeke just woke up last night and started this. They should have been prepared for it. Yeke warned them along the way. Yeke warned them along the way. So for me, look, man, what gets the man elected is what gets him elected. If that's the way he brings bread to District 10, that's how he brings it.
So the quick and early exposure of the liberals, the guy who claimed to be. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna give you an opportunity. I'm gonna give you an opportunity.
I'm gonna come
hold
down.
on 1 second. Calm down. I am.
You try to frame me as though I'm being defeated.
I have to call you in before you come. When I'm in charge, the program is properly managed. No dancing will give people the opportunity to express themselves. So be calm. Other than that, you will be a spectator. That I can guarantee you. So here we see a divided row here, Marley Jones. Let me just bring you in. This is the liberal who wants, when he read a call Tanchi meeting. Oh, he supports Boyka, but let's bring Fanatic Kofa. Fanatic Kofa will be the one to drive Boyka. One side he'll use his left foot to support Joseph Boyka, and then he using the right hand to serve Dinant with another devil. With this kind of man within our conversation here, do you think, how can we manage him or how can we contain, because he has his own follower? I have been attacked by some of the ridiculous things, and he's good of saying that. He admits it here. He's ridiculous. He's unstable. He's a balance. Now he put somebody will go in his corner, but he more likely he's going to be standing alone guy here this evening. Jones.
Well, I think Sister just took this issue to the cemetery right now. When he said that
along with who?
As a sister just took the thing to the cemetery.
Yeah, well, who was accompanying? Who went there? Who was
I don't know who accompanied him, but he took it to the cemetery. Okay. That means the case is closed. He said people have a style. So even the reaction from the liberal, it is the liberal owner style. So I don't know whether we can connect that to his patriotism, his commitment to the Unity Party. That's a different ball game. All right. The old lady who took on Yeke Koluba. You see, the liberal sometimes he bias. That
he always. Why you can tell him he always bias?
No. I can point at it as a vivid evidence. The old lady came on and said and put forward some profanity about Yeke Koluba. The liberal did not talk about that. I don't want to say that on this platform here. Okay? For the sake of a senative, all right? The liberal did not even, the liberal were already pressing the old lady. And that old lady just violated Yeke Koluba a constitutional right. And she also had a right to say what she said. But she was just saying it the wrong time and on the wrong platform. And don't need to repeat that here, but that just exposes the bias of the liberal. Yes. Tonight now, I don't know about other stories.
Mr. So,
Sissy, I'm coming.
Mr. So.
Hold on 1 second. I'm coming to you. Let me break in Sissy.
No, as though I'm some sort of a window dressing here this evening. It's unacceptable. Look, let me tell you this. Mali, look behind Mali. We got American flag.
There you go.
Look at Sissy, Minnesota politician. all dressed up. Look at my attire. Now, if we were to go and look at you, who has the real gravitas to talk about Liberia this evening? It will be me. Now, Mr. So, on a very serious note, I'm not saying their point is not correct. The president, people been writing here, but I'm not here for Kumba here. I'm not here.
Will you leave out these people here tonight? No, hold on. Let me just tell you. Hold on. I'm not going to argue with you here tonight. If you try to be argumentative, at a click of one snap, you're gone. So I am only saying, listen, something. I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm not going to. These are not your fans.
Somebody wrote already asking you to kick me off the platform. So apparently,
I am not watching. I'm not watching. But I am. Okay, but if the people demand, say, if I see 4 or 5 of those comments coming out, it means you are just not properly situated. Then you will have to go. But I don't want you to be looking there. I'm still going to give you the opportunity.
That'll be a good referendum.
Okay, because if I ask say a system vote in favor, Mali for sure, I'm gonna. I can negotiate with system on that. I can negotiate with
your audience. You and the audience, but he ain't paying your more, but he ain't paying my more. Nothing you can do to me. I'm broken.
Okay, we gotta let you go.
No, you cannot let me go. You want to do that? That's your show. You do whatever you want to do, but that's not gonna frighten me. That's not gonna make me to change my position. To come to you guys, the Northern Minnesota politician, liberal, we don't count on that. I know I'm standing alone on this one, so I'm quite prepared. Let me tell you again. On this very serious note, I have the ability to compartmentalize the topic that is being discussed.
Okay.
We have on one hand, for example, we have the presidency, which is protected and described by the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. On the other hand, we have the culture that says any part of Liberia you go, you are not to disrespect someone who is older than you or who is old enough to be your father.
No.
Oh, you don't do that in Lovakande?
And you say in Lofa, you're not from Grand United.
What was the last time you saw Lovakande person causing old man there, old man there? Mali, let me finish my problem. Let me finish my topic. You can disagree with me. Now, Mr. So, my argument here is this. Yeah, on the side of the Constitution and on the side of the electors and everybody else, they have the right. Malice themselves said they're quite correct. But my argument is, when Koluba was doing this to President Weah, it was also wrong in terms of the presidency. It was also wrong in terms of individual and personal attack. Those things should have been avoided. None of us approved of the way Koluba was going about it. No one here approved that. But the point that I'm making here now is that the situation has been elevated with the mere fact of the age of Ambassador Bakai. So if Koluba will come and attack the presidency in which President Bakai occupies, only those that have the clear understanding of the Constitution, that have the clear understanding that the presidency is an office that is being occupied by President Bakai, and that Koluba is not necessarily being personal to President Bakai, except to say the office and those who are running, this is about Liberia. Many Liberians, especially the old folks, will not understand that, and they will not be able to separate that. So I'm saying to you that if Koluba comes across as being disrespectful to someone who is old enough to be your grandfather, even people in Grand Gina County that didn't vote for Ambassador Bakai will not approve of those activities. And I stand by that. I stand by it.
So can I ask a clarifying question? Because I know I was listening to the liberal, he said he tried to intervene between Yeke Koluba and his son. Did you try to intervene between Yeke Koluba and the vice president when he was insulting a female? So in our culture, women hold higher ground. So when Yeke was disrespectful to Madam Joy Howard Taylor over and over and over, did that rise to the pill where that you should have been just as much offended right now as you are with this situation with Mr. Buckeye? And did that rise to the level where you try to intervene between him to stop him, or you are just concerned about him and your son because your son was being taken to the cleanup by Yeke Kolba?
Good question. The first one is when Yeke Kolba had that incident. I only remember one incident with the vice president.
There you go.
Well, I said I remember. I did.
You're gonna have a bad night,
in a sense, by putting some, in which I'm not. It wasn't published, but it was done privately. That this is not acceptable. Not only is she a female, she's our sister, and she's everybody's mom. And when Sekou, they see Sekou today that they talk about, went at her, I also came across that, and I did a show on that. So yes, anytime these people go about doing these kinds of stuff, I say it. Now, with respect to Yeke Kolba and Costa, yes, I intervened because of my love for Costa, number one. But most importantly, I wanted the unity within the CPP to hold. I didn't want any division because I knew if there was a division, we will have some issues and in terms of defeating President Weah. So it was I approached that situation on two fronts.
Where you knew or you thought, because there was still division and they still defeated George Weah. So did you know or did you think? Because Costa
at that time.
No, but you didn't know, you thought, because we've been proving that Costa was not needed for Bouakai to win presidency.
No. At that time, my intent.
Okay.
I told you already was two. The second
guys, let me expose this guy.
Well, Mr. So I'm on the floor. The first one was my interest of Costa. The second one was the interest of maintaining the unity within the CPP.
Sissy, let me tell you the truth. Let me expose this liberal here. He quick to forget. He did call Kolba, that I'm aware. He told me, but according to him, and if he's trying to back off here, nowadays when I'm talking to him, almost 3-4 years ago, I can recall him because he's unstable, he's unbalanced. You know what Yeke told him? Yeke said, the next time you call me, I will have a special program. And you the same person was cheering, Jerry, that you want me peace, I will deal with you. He told the phone and he said, Chief, I'm sorry. And you want to come here and come make stuff different. Why you can't tell the people where Yeke told you?
But Mr. So,
okay, let's have a conversation. Yeah.
So we got to make progress while the Liberal are sure he on the phone to call Collins now. But however,
Terry will not even agree with him. They want his own tonight.
This is the issue. The Liberal will need to know one thing here tonight. Liberia has graduated to so many different levels now since the Civil War. Those are all in the diaspora now. Our perception about politics is different. That tribal and traditional aspect, I don't know about Sissy. I try to neutralize it right now and let democracy take control.
He doesn't get it.
If the liberal, win with just democracy being alone, it has to be in hand with the culture that brought you to this position.
Whenever democracy,
you're going to fail miserably.
Whenever democracy works hand in hand with tradition or culture, corruption and kickback proliferates, in my opinion. So, the direction he's going, this is how the tribal politicians go. The tribal and traditional politicians, they still want the old order. No space for it right now. Because the Constitution did not even talk about age, respect, and someone is old and you got to respect them, and then he bring it in culture. So, the culture, let me just make it clear, the culture work hand in hand with our laws. We have customary laws that is working in the constitution, is working in our judiciary, that is working hand in hand. What are a part of the problem there? Fine. But the other politics that we own in Liberia right now, it's not about who old and who young. So as they say, ready poly is about style.
You know, hold on 1 second. Let me say, let me talk about this cultural piece. I'm from Lofa County, and full disclosure, Yeke Koluba is the son of my late uncle. But it will be interesting to find out how this gets resolved in Lofa County, because the name Koluba is the acolyte to the chief priest. So those of you that go to Catholic churches and go to Lutheran churches, the acolytes are those people that come in from the priest, and some of them got a cross, and some of them got a thing. They come before the priest comes. There cannot be, and I hate to use this word because it's demeaning, but that's what people know it as. A country devil cannot come outside without a call by first coming outside. So I really want to see how this gets up, because in the traditional sense, Yeke Koluba is higher than Joseph Boakai in the Poro society. So if you want to talk tradition, let's go there. I want to see how the people resolve the other piece. Yeah. That's the reason when they went to Lofa. Remember when they went to Lofa for that election, for the senatorial election? You remember seeing Yeke wearing his traditional Koluba regalia?
Right.
The prime tash on him. You remember that? Yeke Koluba had to go before Joseph Boakai could enter the town. So you want
Liberal.
It will be very
exciting. Liberal, is that true? The Liberal.
Are you talking to me? I couldn't hear anything right. So I think are you asking me a question? I couldn't hear my mic, or my earpiece was giving me problem.
Okay, guys, let's have a conversation here. There are some.
We got to close the chapter.
Yeah, we'll close it, but we're going to be adding a little piece of layer on it, which worth explaining as well. Who remembers? And I think there was some international magazine. How much was Ambassador Boakai worth at the end of his tenure as vice president? Do you, any of you guys remember?
I think you got to lead our other topic, man.
The what?
No, is it? Or because you not know.
What you say?
There was some international magazine to report he as a restaurant. Okay, the guy said we should leave it. But let's have a conversation.
Mother run the show. Mother said we'll leave it, then you don't leave it.
Was that an accredited magazine, or was it the same people that gave Fonatico for that award that we had?
Oh, yeah, we go.
Yeah, okay, since I don't have that document, the reason
Mother said we'll lead the show.
The reason I try to table it because I hope to have that document. But let's have a
let's have a conversation. Mother said we'll let it go anyway.
Let me just let you know, Mali is my ally.
No, yeah, I agree with you. I think you're right. Mali said we'll let it go. Let's forget it.
America moving from beyond Great Britain. Yeah. So he's my ally. So if I'm running right here, he's within my proximity to rescue me. Okay, guys, let's have a conversation. What? 12 days to go, right? Today's induction inaugural. 12 days today, the 10th, and on the 22nd. The conversation is still ongoing aggressively with the speakership. We're seeing people endorsing Kuhn from the Unity Party following the intervention to the whatever meeting. But for me, politics is always uncertainty. Nothing is guaranteed until the final vote or until it is all over. Is Unity Party on the verge, or do you think Unity Party, in order for Ambassador Boakai to succeed, far from the Liberals' idea, for Ambassador Boakai to solidify his political authority as president of the Republic of Liberia, he needs a speaker on his side. He needs to have a speaker who will be in his column to get legislations, his agenda to push. Is it fair now, can we say, based on what we know from the president-elect intervention, the meetings and all of that, are they closer or are they to the finishing line to get this speakership with Kuhn? Or Fanatic Kofa is still a factor? Let me start with you. Do you think the ambassador, president-elect Ambassador Joseph Boakai intervention will be the turning point for this speakership?
The way politics works in Liberia, absolutely. Well, right now, we still got 12 days to go. And 12 days, well, actually, before the the legislature reconvenes is on the 15th, right? So they got shorter time because they have to reconvene while President Weah is still president and before Joe Biden can take over. And they will have to have their election. A few days in politics is an eternity. Right now, you see sedition lawmakers are still holding tight, but I guarantee you, as they get closer to the election of the speaker and the president pro tempore, I would not be surprised to see some seditions break ranks and vote for the nominees as proffered by the incoming government, because every smart legislator wants to ensure that they have the executive to owe them something. Because tomorrow when I come up with in America, we call it pork, right? You add pork to every legislation to take back home to your people. In the future, if I want things added to the national budget that benefits my district or my county, or if I want things legislature to pass and I want the president not to veto it, I want you to owe me so I can say, my man, you owe me one from that time. That is how smart legislators behave. So I would not be surprised to see some CDC lawmakers breaking ranks. And to take that even further, I would not be surprised to see a lot of people changing parties after the new government come into place, and they'll be dropping their old parties and moving on, trying to get on board with the ruling parties or the ruling alliance.
Quickly before I go to Malaya, is it expedient for the president-elect to place call to some moderate seditions who are maybe not in favor of fanatic Kofa to also reach out to them to soften the ball? Would that be a good strategy?
I don't know, because it depends. If all he has are hardliners, then nobody's going to reach out. If he's listening to the likes of Akaris Gray and maybe Thomas Fala, and there goes the cultural piece again with Thomas Fala and Joseph Boakat. But if he's listening to the like of Thomas Fala and Tamakoji, again, there goes the traditional piece again with Koji and Joseph Boakat, then it's going to be a problem. I don't think he's going to want to listen to any moderates. I think people are going to tell him, it's your time, go for it. But here's the kicker. I will hope a smart lawyer that is fanatical for, you can't take that from him, he's very brilliant. I will hope that he does a calculation, because he has to be able to trade. If he goes for everything and loses, then that means he's going to lose the deputy speakership. So he has to put everything on the table. This is going to be a zero-sum game for him. So either he negotiates to keep his deputy speakership, or goes for it and goes for the jugular and hope he wins. But if he doesn't win, then he loses everything. So that has to be I'm imagining that's a calculation that he's having. That is something he's discussing with people that he talks to, the likes of Mr. To. And I'm hoping they're doing a very good calculation around it.
You mean Samson To, right?
Yeah,
the liberal. Okay, yeah, that's his friend. So the liberal. Let me just bring you in here. It's like a piece of cloth between the seats. So your guy, Fanatic Kofa, who you want, by the way, to be the speaker. Do you still stand by that position?
Yeah.
What are you want to plead the fifth or what?
No.
Okay. So now he's going for the power board, the speaker, the deputy. We see Hassan Belete is on the other side cutting the deal. Where do you think do you think he's in the run for fight here, or because there is some sort of what should I say, political rebellion within his own party of certain people? They feel that he's not a guy that they want. Now, if he loses that seat, if he can't win, if the speaker just go zigzag and he can't even get the deputy speakership, what becomes of CDC in terms of being in leadership in the lower house?
Well, this is what I can say about CDC and Flanti Kofa. For example, if President Weah decided that enough is enough, I think Flanti Kofa will stand next in terms of carrying the CDC alone Flanty Kofa has the ability and finances to do that. But that's not about CDC right now. I think my support for Flanty Kofa, and as you guys pointed out the other day, yesterday, which knocked all of the wind out of my sails, so to speak, which I really respect. But my support for Flanty Kofa is to say that the institution or the separation of power in Liberia in terms of government, that should be respected. But then again, it's politics. Ambassador Baka or President-elect Baka has the right to say what he wants out of the legislature because he's the head of the executive. So he has to work with it, and he wants to find somebody that will be able to carry out his agenda. And I thought, and then I like the way Ambassador Baka already went at it. The mistake that was made during the CPP, he decided not to make the same mistake by saying from day one, I want the speakership. And therefore, any other person that coming in, you have to understand that Ambassador Baka has already made that statement. And though when you're coming in, you're challenging Ambassador Baka in a sense. What I thought would happen, and I hope that that will happen. Flanty Kofa, like you correct yesterday, is between the high place and sister or whatever it is. Because if he comes, what I would hope that he would do is to come and have a press conference and say, this is not about CDC, this is not about Unity Party, but this is about Liberia. I think he should say that I feel that me being the speaker, even though I'm an opposition, but I'm not opposition to the detriment of the Liberian people survival. I'm going to be opposition, but a sensible opposition. I'm going to be here to be like a guardrail against the Unity Party if they decided to go bunga on spending the Liberian people resources that we don't have. However, if I see that President Baka is bringing up a developmental agenda that is beneficial to the Liberian people, I will support it. But if I see that people are asking to pass law or bring some sort of a frivolous law and what have you, I would not support that because it might not be in the interest of Liberian people. And Liberian people, from my perspective, Kofa would say that Liberian people will suffer. So I think Kofa needs to come out and clearly state that this is not about CDC because most people fear right now is that the like of Tomofala, the like of the other sedition that when what's his name, Kofa becomes a speaker, these people will now find their way to go into the important committee chairperson position, whereby they will be able to wreak havoc on the developmental agenda of Ambassador Baka. Which, if that's the case, if Kofa cannot come out to clarify himself, then my support for him is a little bit tempered, to be honest with you. But I know Kofa intent is to help Liberia. Kofa is not coming in to be an obstacle to any kinds of good developmental agenda for this incoming government. Kofa is not that type of person. He's not the type of person that will only want thing because he wants his name out there. If you listen to this young man, some of the interview that he has done, it's always been about Liberia. I work with Kofa in Liberty Party in the leadership committee. I work with Kofa on so many things. And I know Kofa has the interest of the Liberian people. He started that long time ago, long time before he even went to CDC. So the interest of the interest of the Liberian people has always been at the top of Kofa's mind. You think even with all the trouble Kofa had here in America, the man can make living any other part of the world. Okay, he has served his time.
We are not
concerned about that. But my thing is, Kofa needs to come out and talk to the public that he's seeking this position not because of CDC or not because of himself, but that he will be there as a guide rail.
So, okay, look, Liberal, so you always want to be the fixer and you can't even fix well. Look, Mali Jones, let me just bring you in here. Kofa been doing what he's supposed to be. He's been speaking, he's been addressing the media. But there is a gap here to which the liberal or we are not talking about. Someone political future is at stake. If it appears to me someone is not in charge of a political institution, once still governing and might be going out for 6 years. Where is the president? Where is the sitting president in this whole thing here? This has to do with his survival of his party not being in any leadership, and that could be a potential problem. We saw the interventions of Ambassador Joseph Newman Boyka, president-elect, calling on his supporters or people in the place. Where is the president? Is the president still in charge of CDC? Do you think he still have that authority as a party stand-up barrier? They are about to or have a major leadership election. Kofa seems to be the longer fighting. Maybe there's something out there the president has said to rally his base, his lawmakers in the House to say, hey, this is the president I'm going with. This is what the party is going with. That has not happened. Is he still in charge of the CDC?
Well, first thing is that I don't want for us to deceive ourselves on this platform. CDC, the recent political transformation where CDC was able to hand over power to Joseph Boakai, I mean, it's something that stay beyond some of our imagination. CDC is not going away easily. And I'm very sure CDC will want to fight on to hold on to the Supreme Court and the speakership. They will not afford to lose the speakership. I mean, they cannot. I don't want to believe CDC will afford to lose the presidency and lose the speakership and lose the Supreme Court. I don't think so. I don't want to believe so.
Are they doing enough to get the speaker leadership?
Yes, I want to believe it because they need it. They need it. Joseph Boakai is coming with volume of reform. Okay, so he himself need to do so much work to get this thing going. But what I see here from my own assessment, it's like CDC is not going to give Joseph Boakai a chance to take these two places. I don't want to believe that. Not at all. I don't want to believe it. Because I want to believe I'm not in their mind, I'm not in their camp. I want to strongly believe that they say, okay, we waive the presidency. We cannot afford to waive the speakership and the Supreme Court. I'm very sure of that. And lastly, the Liberal just said, hey man, he's supporting, should come out to tell the Liberian. He cannot make that statement. He will be betraying CDC. He can never make that statement. And holding on him as a guarantor that when he come, he will be that type of free mind person. Okay, the road is going. Yeah, the budget got to go to support the road. Those guys are going to suffocate so many Joseph Boakai's reform project, especially if they grab the speakership and the Supreme Court. It's going to happen. Because I don't think they're prepared to make that sacrifice again as they did with the presidency. So, on the flip side, if Joseph Boakai don't wake up to tighten his belt and go the extra mile, trust me, he will be disappointed.
I mean, that's the liberal. Some of his things, they can be so bizarre. He should come, oh, I'm not coming to... You think politics are for... If you are top lawyer, you wear diaper, don't get into the game of politics. He's not going to come there to give a full surrender. Is not for a party, for the country. Well, no, the party ideology comes, and that's what they're going to use to drive to the country. So for you to come here to tell us that he should come and to wave a white flag to Joseph Boakai, I'm not coming. That's not going to resonate with his people. He's going to end up losing vote from his side. So he got to give the drumbeat of his base that where he needs the number to add up to the other number. Any change of mind?
Before the Liberal come in, CEO, the last thing I want to say here is this. The talking, the lobbying, it's not the Liberian way or politician way of doing things in our country. It has to be backed by something tangible. We know. Example, brown envelope. If it doesn't work from the Joseph Boakai side, it's going to be very difficult. I'm talking from the type of politics we run in that country. People are not saying things from the merit point. Say, oh, that man has come in. He been the road to Sassan. Gentlemen, let's approve of the budget so the thing can go. I don't think it's going to go that direction. And to get a speakership, Joseph Boakai will have to go the extra mile. The talking, the lobbying is not going to help.
Okay, extra mile. Liberal, I want to come in. I know you get a soft tone on this here, but let me bring in these politicians with some strict bullet point. Sissy, do you think what could be the political bargaining to chip on the side of Unity Party? And Mali just said it. It's you got to spend money, no matter what. Money or other things got to be involved. Is that something the ambassador, the president-elect, or the party willing to do if they are to get to that point? Because, you know, I mean, these guys, some of them going to be going out, you know, and it requires enormous sacrifices, whatever way it can go. But would that something Unity Party or a president-elect would subscribe to if people say, you know what, I mean, this is what you need to do. You got to do it the Liberian way. Will he subscribe to that? Because there will be a fear on that to see whether they're going to be a backlash, or who's going to even put somebody there to proxy his affairs to be the some sort of principal negotiator.
So the first problem is nobody that's leaving the legislature is going to vote for Senate for speaker. It's going to be the new legislature that's going to vote for the new speaker. So everybody on their way out, they can't vote for the incoming speaker. They're out, right? So they're done. It's going to be people that will have to serve with these people. I agree with Mr. Mali that the Liberian politics has always been brown envelope based, and that's how things get done. I'm not trying to dismiss that. That's a salient point he has, and that's how things have been done over and over and over. But the agenda that Joseph Boakai ran on, I think it would be massively hindered if he did that. If I were in his political circle, and if you were listening to me, there are many things the presidency the executive can offer that doesn't have to be physical cash in negotiating. You can offer committees leadership. You can offer a lot of things in government. You can offer, we will build one public high school in your district. We will build one public hospital in your district as the government. We will bring development to your county, and you can claim that it was under my leadership, the government built a hospital because of my advocacy. The government built a high school. When I came here, the high school, because I'm thinking about opening an interview now, for example. When I came here, this high school, there were only 3 teachers here, and there were 50 volunteer teachers. Because of me, the government fully staffed, we don't have volunteer teachers today. So there are many ways. There are many ways in politics without bribing that the executive can get things, can get legislators to kind of do their work for them and go the way they want to go. I will hope that JMB surrounds himself with people who understand these things, who understand how to sell these things to these lawmakers. Because right now, telling a lawmaker who comes from a county or a district that doesn't have a government hospital, or a senator that comes from a county maybe that has one referral hospital and there's nothing in it, that we will make it a priority to staff that hospital and maybe bring MRI materials or stuff. That senator, if you said it to them properly, will vote for your agenda because they want to use it to say, when we came in office, we were responsible for this thing happening. So I agree with Mali Jones that the Liberian politics has always been brown envelope based, and and that's how things have been done. But I'll be disappointed if Joseph Boakai does that, because the agenda he showed to the Liberian people, that will go against their agenda. But real quick to the point about, the Liberal keep talking about divided government. You know, today the House of Representatives here, they are having a vote on whether to hold Hunter Biden in contempt. That's a Republican House. And you know how if they vote on, even if Mayorkas, they're going to take a vote on impeaching a Homeland Security Mayorkas. You know what's going to happen? It's going to die in the Senate because it's a Democratic Senate. You know what would have happened if you have both a Republican and a Democratic legislature? Secretary Mayorkas will be impeached from office. Biden will not be able to carry out his agenda. You know why student loan forgiveness failed? Because their House and the thin margin in the Senate. And the student loan was one of the major things that Joe Biden ran on. So we cannot be talking about somebody wants the agenda to go through and say, I get the money, but I'll give to somebody with them. I say, I can see face to face to my chimney. They use the small or anything. Then I will go to them every time I want small money and say they will give to me. Remember Speaker Melvin Snow? Remember how he got yanked from there when he started becoming an obstacle, and we had a Speaker Tyler before a Speaker Nukwe?
Yeah.
Because it's about the agenda. If you even go as far back, Samuel Doe had Speaker Samuel D. Hill.
Samuel Hill, yeah.
From the NDPL. Right? Charles Taylor had Yon Dwemo Komlo from the NPP. So no smart politician will ever want to say, let's have a divided government if you want your agenda to go through. Seriously.
He doesn't get it. Let's give him the opportunity before he feels that we're silencing it. The liberal. No, hold on 1 second. Let's be fair with it. He's not my favorite, but he's making himself to be like we all against him, and that's not the point, but we just been very honest here. Liberal, your guy, Kopa is being, initially he rallied the base. We saw a huge drove of lawmakers, but the new guy is going to be coming in here. I'll try to pull the list here, most of them to the independent. What is the reliability of these people here? And I'm quite sure Kofa being a good politician, I'm wondering whether he was having that backyard conversations, given the window, maybe this guy here, it's not gonna will come out. But this whole thing here, it is the president. The president is missing in action. I'm not sure. Maybe he's doing it behind the scene, but it has to be visible. They got to see it coming from the leaders. Or it said these people are still disenchanted, still living within this sort of syndrome. The election was rigged and this election was stolen. So they occupy themselves with that and forgetting the other side to say, oh, we need to get this out so we can get our party on the right footing. Or are they still mad? Do you think Fanatic Kofa, knowing who he is, you work with him, I don't know whether you're still with Liberty Party or where you guys are right now. That's a different thing. I intend not to go there. But do you think he's going to pull this off, knowing the guy who he is?
Well, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult. Now that I thought Flanti Kofa would have remained on the radar and not make it into serious campaign style as CDC versus Unity Party, which it has become. And so now the CDC has no more power, and many of these lawmakers that are from, even some that are from CDC, they want to be re-elected. So most likely they will try to seek the gravy train. So I won't blame them. I thought Flanti Kofa perhaps would not even, there's a picture where he had a group in there and saw sitting and waving their hand and stuff like that video. That is something that I didn't think he was going to do. Because now if you take it as President-elect Joseph Baka versus Flanti Kofa, you will lose. You're not going to win. Because people will look at President Baka, he has the power. You can try to stop one or two things, but as Mali correctly stated, if President Baka decided I want this thing to pass, I want it to go, Brown Bear envelope will take care of that, no problem. And then you now have no power. But Mr. So, I'm not in a house. Let them go through the process. If they feel what I'm saying, my argument here is not about the friendship that I have, which is very strong with Flanti Kofa, and I will always want the best for him. I want him to succeed, whatever he put his hand in. But this is about Liberia as well. And if the Liberian people, through their representatives, if they feel Flanti Kofa should not be, who am I to say no? But what I can say on this here, Mr. So, is this. Ambassador Barker has to understand that many of the people that are in the lead in terms of most of the opposition here and there, they're all young. And we're all looking up to him as a father. And I think you can play politics here and there, but you have to make them to understand that not only are you a president, but you are also a father. And that every one of them, their survival and their whatever they find themselves in, it is very important for you, because through their involvement, through their engagement, positive engagement, will make Liberia move forward. If these young politicians that are representatives and what have you, if you come across as someone who is sympathetic to the opposition and what have you, you don't have to bribe or anything. But if you come across, then I think moving Liberia forward will be better. The last thing I want to say here is this. Why we sit here and say this is what happened here in America, and our people are not yet that much sophisticated. So we're trying that. We're trying to get to that position, but I think we have to be realistic in our engagement and in our argument, because there are people in Liberia, politicians in Liberia, that was elected not because they have the means, or not because their main intent is to make sure that they bring up good legislation process and things. No, they look at that process, they look at that whole thing as a job. And so many of them went to the House representative race, so they would be able to have huge income. It's not because they're there to go and make law or pass law that will benefit the country. So we all understand that. So the last thing I want to say is, Mr. So whatever happened, Flanti Kofa, if he doesn't win, he will still survive. Flanti Kofa, if he doesn't win, he's still my friend. But I'm not in it because of the friendship. I believe that if Flanti Kofa was to be elected as speaker, because knowing Flanti Kofa, what I've had conversation with him, things he said to me, it is about Liberia. And I don't want to go into much of it. Okay, Flanti Kofa intent.
Tell us what we need to know, so that.
But why are you having secret conversation? You can't say it to the public. Like
he always does that. He always in some sort of
the conversation I have with my friends is nothing from me.
Don't tell us. Don't bring it here. You always have
Well, you guys let me make my comment. I don't want to fight with anybody right now because I'm being defeated here on the show tonight.
You don't have nobody to fight with. So.
I recognize that. And I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight up the battle. I don't have Terry here to back me tonight. So I'm not going to fight it. That's what I told you about the northern politician, the northern Democrat politician. You can't count them. When you need them, they're not there.
For the north.
No.
Okay. Let's go to the phone line. Let's go to the phone line.
Let me just say this. All that I'm arguing and I'm saying is that the interest of Liberia is bigger than individual interest. And I strongly believe that if Flanti Kofa was to be elected, I think President-elect Baka will really appreciate the effort. That's all that I can say.
Let's go to the phone line here and get this caller here. Caller, good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hello.
Yeah. Let's hear. What's your name and where you calling from?
Good evening. This is Breakable Power.
Breakable Power. Don't break anything here tonight. Let's go.
My first time listening, my brother, my friend, say something that I very admire.
Who?
Zeze. But on the contrary, you start going opposite. So I come in for a little bit.
You finish already. You already finished distancing. So don't come for you say the first day. You already.
No, so.
The man gave me 3 second praise. He can be destroy me in 2 hours.
What?
You ask a question, why the president do it? Or the president is just away, or we is not going to make sure that if I will be speaker. You say the president interfere in the legislature.
Are you
serious? No complaint, no see. You say the president interfere in the legislature activity. Now, you have an election, the president avoid the election, or even as a way saying it, he avoid the election.
You miss it big time.
Does that crime again?
You miss it big time.
Again,
but make your point.
You see your president that you let say those things was wrong. And now you bringing people around to vote for somebody of your choice, of his choice. Do you support that?
Who is? I didn't hear what you say. Repeat your question. What you say?
Yes, the vice president elect or the president elect and his people complain that the president is interfering in the legislature activity or making the legislature to vote for what he wanted. And now, the people having election as a way to clean, they were coming for change. And those same things are happening. They try to bring it out by calling the legislature to tell them who to vote for. Do you think it's right? Wow. And secondly, look, I listen to my brother Terry and my brother Suzy. You come with different quality or different mindset of making change about things that happen. I think it's not correct to support saying, oh, the president got an agenda. The president agenda cannot be in favor of the country. The people, when they have an opposite view as America, I think it's necessary those people in our house will fight against it. But if you got one, when say one, as a way, you say it was wrong. So if we can still saying the president had right, the president agenda will not go on where we not support the not speaker, I think it's wrong. And when I think over, I think it's more qualified, not because of consistency, but from what you've been doing as the speaker, if you win the election, you'll be more qualified than cool. So when you look at it, opposite, we should look at the basic only. We complain those things are not correct. And now we have a new government. Those things in complain, if it happen now, what's different? And secondly, since Labrador funded, I can say, since we got to know ourselves, all those legislature, the speaker of those head and the branches were controlled by executive. And we want to bring change. I think we all should put her and see different to be in a legislature to get opposite views in our legislature. So we have the country I want to get. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Okay. I'm not sure what he got what we were saying for interfering, but people.
Breakable already talk about me on we chatted with that in the messaging. Look, Breakable like to assume things, then he credit us for it. The man said that I was on here saying that I was against the CDC controlling the Senate, the pro temp and the speaker, and now I'm for it. I'm like, one day that I did that. And then he said, oh, okay, sorry. Then he still come back and say the thing, oh yeah. We have never been on this platform to say that it was a bad thing for CDC to have the speakership. I had a fundamental problem with the person that occupied the speakership, not because of and I never held George we are accountable to say, oh, the CDC got it. I have a fundamental issue with Abochie, but I never blamed President Weah and the CDC to say, oh, they went and did that. If the CDC did that, that was within the political calculation. That's political maturity to have that. So I don't know where my brother's going, but one last thing to Mr. Tu. How long will we keep saying liberal democracy is young? When will we get old? Even in this America, Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia, she was elected with no understanding of how government works. And the same way we elected Solomon George then. So it's not different. It's not different.
Okay, Jones.
And to push back on something Sister brought in here, you made some valid point, but I disagree with on one of the points. We need to know that the politics in Liberia is not a normal politics.
It's abnormal, right?
Yes. And this is linked to the liberal, where you find people that patriotic spirit coming in and say, yes, I will so sipsy, and not in his camp, he not my brother, but this thing he bringing it for the country. That vocabulary, I don't know when it will ever be spoken in our house. This is an interest-based legislature.
That's it, period.
They put themselves first, then the country. That have been going on since 100 and I don't know how many more years. So it can't happen now. But Sister said he brought some valid point that apart from the brown envelope, the substitute for the brown envelope, that can only happen in a normal democracy where people put country first. Yeah. But in a normal democracy, the envelope comes first, then we look behind and see, okay, what there for the country? You see? So that what happening in Liberia now. And he also said that it would be dangerous if the puppy go that direction. I also agree with him because the puppy have blown his horn on Mount Kilimanjaro. All the animals on our hill heard that sound.
No, on Wologizi.
Okay, Wologizi. They heard that sound there. You see? So for the puppy to go now and bend backward, too many eyes are shining right now. It can't happen. So either two way he got a choice right now. Either he allow Kofa to move on and they kill all his program after he says here the struggle. When he passed one, he step aside. Then the Nima ball take over. Maybe the Nima ball, he know about the envelope. That Nima ball, he know about the envelope. The Pape, he against it. So I don't even know how they're going to work together.
Oh boy, that's another indictment there.
So that's a different story.
Let me bring my patron Amos Joyce is monitoring this conversation to bring here the guy from Atlanta. 1%. Something to start calling the man that name, please.
0.1%.
Oh, you want John Sampson with that name now too? Amos Joyce.
Yeah. Why you can't send me a link? Let me appear so you can come to 1%.
But I send a link to you.
I can see it.
Oh, why are you too late? Just say where you are.
They send it to your email.
I sent a link. I thought you address it.
No, they send it to the ANC email address. You can send it to the CBP one.
You see, let me tell you again. You see, I told you, don't be with Cesar then here. You don't listen to me. You see, the man telling you ANC, the party that are not even, I don't know what they say as this thing. You see, Cesar?
No, but that particular email is sleeping right now.
Yeah, you know, I mean, exactly. Pa George, check again. No, we see it here in modern civilization, modern society here. People that cut deals, you know, which is not a bad thing. It's in there. It's all about interest to push your party's agenda. What are the country going to be benefited? But I tell you, say this is what we believe. We see how the Republican and the Democrats are the behavior when it comes to this thing here. You ready to man and the walkout? You say, well, if the president can't give this one, we're not going. You got to negotiate. So I don't know where this guy Breakable is coming from, interfering. That's not the kind of interference we are talking about. This is something about it. He already lose the presidency. He wants his party to still be relevant, active, engaging, be politically active. Part of that is to have the leadership in the lower branch. Let's see here what that Amos George want to come in here. Now, there you go. The legendary Amos George is here. It's something told Frank. I don't know why he couldn't get the link, but it was sent out simultaneously to everybody.
Well, waving the card there.
Yeah. He said he was doing it to you.
Yeah, and he passed by me.
He saw him when you were talking. He lifted it. But Cartier from Kmart from in the cold, so the ice already feeling making it up. Let's bring in Amos Joyce. Amos Joyce is here. I'm waiting to see that final list of presidential appointment. But one of the persons that consistently been on that list is this crowd guy here. Cooper Crowd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kupakra names kept popping up on all of the stuff that is coming out. Well, possibly there was a political hate. You will remember what happens when he appeared at the was it a Unity Party rally and the president fired him? So that political sympathy can factor in, and obviously it will become obvious when Senator Prince Johnson can also push that agenda. But more or less, he seems to consistently be on their list. We're going to see when the final list comes out. You not hearing me? Wait a minute. You need to unmute yourself, not from wait up. Oh no. If you Amos, are you there? Sister, yeah, you hearing me?
Yeah, I think that how we need to keep him. He can make too much flower. Let him be talking sign language.
Yeah, we are you.
Let me sign language person for him.
No, but Joy, you will stay behind the fan today.
Let me not say guy interpreting for the Vietnam brother. Let me not sign language guy for
But Amos George, you are muted for yourself, not for me. Oh boy. Just into it not working. So then get out and come back. I think that says that about me also you let me flower too more like still like that. So, before we go, it's already 9:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll see what this guy Abade is more or less information. Pelele being the communication person with the inaugural thing, one could guess that probably he could be in the finishing line with this year, but we don't know.
The what?
No, Pelele, I say he's the communication person with the inaugural team, so one could guess that he could be maybe the minister, but that seems to be. But I strongly believe the first appointment of this president-elect will be a complete inclusions of all of the people that really support him. He needs to show that sort of gratitude, but eventually, people will be washed away, and I think that's where it's going to come from. Who do you think? Because he needs to do that. People help him to get to the finishing line. How far he can go breaking those people, that's how many persons he's going to be breaking. That's another thing. But I think that's.
I think, Mr. Soul, and again, I'm a liberal, so these are kinds of stuff that run through my mind. Not necessarily they are on point, but I will make them anyway. I think Ambassador Barker, to appoint people to bring, let's see, Mr. George. Mr. George, are you audible now?
Can you hear me?
Jesus Christ, we're in trouble.
Oh, yeah. You see all of that? They don't want you to come. This people don't like you. I told you, but you see, say one day he on the other side, another day.
I stay on Mr. George side. I just want to use a sign language interpreter today at all.
You see that? You see that? You see?
But what I was saying, Mr. So,
I can hear you, but I don't know why you can hear me.
Yeah, now we're hearing you audible.
We can hear you.
Go ahead.
So, but the point that I'm making, Mr. So, is this: Ambassador Barker, if before appointing people, I think not that he owe anybody any explanation. And as I'm about ready to make this comment, I'm thinking since a response and modest, ridiculous response to that as well. But let me just say this: before you appoint these people, Ambassador Barker needs to make some sort of a statement, public statement, addressed to the nation that I am about ready to announce to you, those who I'm asking from among you as Liberian to help me steer this government in terms of development and everything else. We're all are Liberians. Nobody is perfect. But these are the choices that I have, and these are the people that I'm going to be introducing to you. I hope that as a country, that we work with these individuals in their different capacity, so that we all will be able to move this country forward. I think if he does that, it will automatically, for me, and I could be wrong, but for me, if he does that, it's not only going to energize the Liberian people, that perhaps they might feel part of the process, that before the announcement was made, Liberian was not necessarily consulted, but that they was in the know, that the president made a statement about it. If we want to change things, I think these are the kinds of little stuff for me. These are things that I would do differently.
Something. So if he doesn't make that statement, it means he's not going to be making an appointment, or what? What's the rationale behind that?
The rationale here for me, the way I see it, the reason I'm saying this is that you have to bring Liberians along with you, so that they will always be with you. And that's the president prerogative.
Even if they not need to be with you.
I'm not arguing that, but I'm saying in order for, before making this announcement, to say to the Liberian people that, trust me, I got this under control. But in the meantime, I want you to understand, as my brothers and sisters, that we are in this together. Those that I'm going to be calling, not because they are special or because they are more qualified than the other person, but these are the people that I feel as your leader, to say these are the people that I feel will be able to work with me at this time. We got 6 years to go. Let's work together. Those of you in the countryside, those of you that didn't vote for me, those of you who voted for me, I'm asking all of you to give your cooperative hand to those that I'm asking to lead, to help to lead this process. I think if you're asking Liberian to cooperate with whoever that you're going to be selected.
So, Amos George, let me bring you to welcome the Labour here, because it appears that what he tries to tap into now is the president inaugural, going to be forming that inaugural speech, or more or less he tries to tap into now to say that when the president ready to make his appointment, ministerial director, that maybe the director only will have one press conference, the ministerial one. Are you understanding what this guy is saying?
No, because he just said that the president doesn't owe anybody. Then the other he said, oh, the president will make a speech to the Liberian people. But if he doesn't owe anybody, then who is making the speech to? Huh? Look.
Wow. You're missing the boat completely.
Hold on there. The president had informed the Liberian people already. All we're waiting for now is the announcement of the names. He went on VOA and said, I will appoint people with caliber who will deliver tax assigned to them. That's one of the biggest platforms he's going to speak to the country, to the world. It's done. All I'm waiting for is Joseph Boakai to make his cabinet announcement and direct us. That's what I'm waiting for. Why does Joseph Boakai take an extra time to come and address the Liberian people? These are the people I'm going to select, and you listen. No. If anybody is selected, perfect. We'll be happy. Once again, deliver, fine. If they don't deliver, we'll hold Joseph Boakai responsible. I don't see the need for him to go have a special press conference again to tell the Liberian or these are the kind of people. No. Honorable Boakai knows exactly who's going to help him to stir the ship, the wheel of Liberia. All waiting for the names. And let me go back to you because I heard something we'll see again. Honorable Funam, that is your friend. We understand that, we get it. And you come on the platform, stay proud to sell him to the Liberian people. There's no problem with that. But we said it again yesterday. For experiences, for Joseph Boakai to have a speaker from the opposition. Mr. To is just like be just playing political, that's a suicide. What your friend brother is telling you is different. When he gets in that house, when he has that gavel in his hand, you can't tell him what to do. He will dictate, command, and control the policy of Joseph Boakai. We get
to the extent of Joseph Boakai owns budget.
Of course. But he will control the price. If Joseph Boca said, I want 10 million, I said, no, I can give you 2 million now. What can Joseph Boca do? It has to be brought. He has to bring that agenda on the. He has to bring that on the floor for debate. He doesn't bring it, will not come. So, Mr. Toll, please, it's about 2029. So you wait for it. When your American Joe, we can you win our election for that, this can be speaker. But if the United Party folks sit down there and allow this to happen, they will have themselves to blame politically. I don't know the man. So, and Unbreakable says something. Honorable Fernando Kofa is a lawyer by profession. Honorable Kuhn is an accountant by profession. How can you come and say this man is not qualified when here? I think this is second term or one maybe in the house. So how Unbreakable you come and say Honorable Kuhn is not qualified? Fernando Kofa is more qualified than Kuhn. In which way?
Well, he using his own measurements, so I don't know why.
I know, but somebody, it just crap to come and talk. When they know now that it's good to have a balanced government, when they know 6 years they control the government, why they didn't see someone who was talking? They didn't listen to us. So now they come to say, oh, we want this thing to be balanced.
All
why
right.
did you fix it?
What about you? I can see their mandate, but
Yeah. Let me say congratulations to 2 persons here.
Ooh.
Congratulations. Cesar, please extend my congratulations to your wife for me. I sent her greeting today. And congratulations to Deacon Mallet Jones.
What's that again?
Deacon Mallet Jones, congratulations. I saw a candid photo. It's on Facebook. You don't see it? Hey, Lord. Congratulations, Deacon.
You mean a Deacon, huh?
Sometimes I was sending you the picture. I put the picture in the chat room.
Oh, the radical
talking about capital punishment?
I think when they were about to fire with hell, I think they remember.
I never died twice.
What? I will put a picture there. Deacon
Let
Jones
the church say him.
I can't go look for it.
The other person, I guess the congratulations, Deacon though.
You get offering one day, you go straight to hell, and the fire level will be high.
Oh my goodness, you guys, there's something else. Okay, well, we're gonna finish it up before we wrap up for the rest of the
Yeah, I mean, I think we talk about this whole government thing. I think it's there. I think the Liberal was striking a point. I hope the president-elect makes a unifying speech at his inauguration. I think that would be a good thing to bring the country back together and refocus and lead. But I would differ that he has to make that while making appointments. Don't tell me you're coming. Just show up. When you send a Judean transportation money, don't be calling me, telling me I just passing my old now coming, my guy just come back. Let me just see you. It's way better than all that play-by-play explanation. So let the old man appoint. We will see based on his appointment, and we will try to deduce based from his appointment what his mindset is about how the country moves forward. But let's be clear about this. Politics has consequences. Elections have consequences. I am not expecting Joseph Boakai to have an interim government of national unity or have a national transition government with a speaker like George Dweck kind of thing they're coming back. It's not going to happen. Elections were had. There were 20 presidential candidates. They all spoke to the nation on what their ideas were, how to lead us. And then the Brown Board decided, and I can't judge their decision, to go with arrest and Joseph Nyuma Boakai and to rescue the nation. Joseph Nyuma Boakai ought to live up to that. And I'm hoping that they already had in mind people that they could bring along with the expertise to execute the arrest agenda and rescue the nation. We don't want this thing to come back be the CDC where they say, oh, we want to fail because the president had opposition in government. No, we want nobody can lie on anybody. Give us the people you were depending on when you brought out the arrest and you told us you could rescue the nation. and let's all work along with them and see how we rescue the nation. Because at the end of the day, this is not a two-party state in Liberia, the citizens between CDC and Unity Party. You have 20 presidential candidates. In the House, you have 30 different political parties, without any counting the independents, that contest their House seats. How are you going to spread that out to everybody? So for me, I'm hoping that you had a shadow government in waiting, because that's what any respectable political organization would do. They'll have a kitchen cabinet, and those were the people that were bringing forth all of these ideas, and those will be the people to execute it. We don't want this thing to be like the Pro agenda, where somebody else wrote it, and somebody else tried to read it, and the person that was reading it in tongue, but we're not in the language or written in, and then the people around there would not understand the tongue. You know, I've been to a lot of churches where people speak in tongues, and I'm like, everybody else speak English. Why are you speaking in tongue? And you're speaking in a language that even you yourself don't understand. That is what the Pro agenda looked like. Somebody else was reading it in tongue, and nobody else could understand it. So Jose Imambwaka has the arrest agenda. Let them read it to us clearly. We don't understand Hebrew. Let them read it to us. Let them interpret it, and let them lead us. They should not bring other people in. They can hold them accountable and make them, the scarecrow. Say, oh, we're going to succeed, but we have CDC people in.
Yeah, the stepchild.
You know, no, CDC has been they used to be in opposition, like they always say. They just came from government. They should be able to sustain their political party without trying to fight for a government job. The 1 million job that they promised at the Brentport that they were going to deliver, along with all of the development that Breakable they can talk about, I'm hoping that they can find jobs in the private sector. They can get one of those 1 million jobs that they provided to the people in Liberia and leave government alone.
My goodness, Sister Goya. Wow. Okay, let me bring my guy here, the Moja train progressive Deacon. You Otavio Mali.
Deacon Mali.
God get patient.
Yes, this is the reason why Prince Johnson is still going strong. But however,
I like that clap back.
Oh my goodness.
Because Prince Johnson, sometimes he wonder why he's still moving, but because God has a patient.
God got a
But
patient.
anyway, I think my closing is also in line with what Sister just said. This government is a human institution-oriented government. You know, these are people that come in. The mind Joseph Barker has, and the standard he set for himself, I'm not too sure whether all his team member will have that standard. I'm not too sure. Right? I can't jump the gun right now. I'm not too sure. However, I don't want to preempt his inaugural address, but the team is the team that are coming to make up the government. So if I hear something like we are vetting, because it's through vetting you can do placement, because you are bringing an inquiry to find out who you are, what can you do. So that would be a good news if it did happen, you know. Vet the people. You say, oh, Sese, you're a math instructor. You know why? We're going to make you chairman for the math department to this place here, even though they're not big position, but we won't put you in a place where you have an authority. This has been lacking in almost all the government akin to Liberia, even worse up under His Excellency President William government. So if Joseph Barker come, yes, I know the people are coming with a lot of criteria. I'm sure the people have already fulfilled 4 of the virtues. Honesty, hard work, sincerity, transparency. I think they get all these things packed in them. Experience, managerial skill, they get all that one there. But the issue of being specialized in your area, like Mandela Cooper, according to one list, that presumptive list official, they said that she go into Lpr-Tv. She got a whole bunch of experience as she go into that place. But she doesn't have any little credential in petroleum. So that is a concern to me. So if we say all the virtue amount to your area of specialization, okay, that your government, nothing we can do about it. So this is what I would rather be watching out for. Everybody will be qualified with all the skill we can talk about. Are they specialized in the area they're sending them? That have been the African problem. So I hope to see it. I don't want to jump the gun. I got to get President Baka the benefit of the doubt. He said things will be fine. So I just don't want to go in the direction of criticizing right now until we see that final list. Then we digest it and make our own analysis now. But that has been the problem with government in Liberia. Placement in people's specialized area. Yes.
Okay, let's go to Saxton, Sacramento. The liberal progressive is a strong supporter. He never shy away with his yet. He has been exhibited. He danced. He did whatever thing. He blew the trumpet to get Ambassador Jose Newman Boyka to the finishing point. And here we are today, 12 days to go. The right hand will be raised. I do, son of a swear. The liberal, let me just bring you here. So what is going through your mind? Expectations. You took a side. You didn't shy away. You didn't do it in darkness. The guy is about to enter the overall office to be making some consequential decision. What are you looking for? What are you observing? So what are some of the things you earmark to see? Yes, I am proud to do what I did for this guy.
Thank you, Mr. So. I won't be long, just a very short one. My expectation, as far as I'm concerned, it's not that different from any Liberian who are also expecting the president-elect to succeed in making sure that Liberia move forward. Additional point that I want to make, that I'm hoping that Ambassador will take into consideration, is to at all the time that you are going to be engaging in bringing policy developmental agenda to the country, that Liberians must be brought along at all along on the way. So that my thing, as I said correctly stated the other day, I want by the time Ambassador Baka released the first major project, that Liberian should be they should feel that they are part of the process. They should, as I correctly stated also, they should be feeling that they are the owner of whatever project that Ambassador Baka is bringing. And not to say, oh, the people bringing it, I think they will share the money among themselves. They will not get anybody. Once they start feeling that, all the other subject matter that you're going to bring will be for nothing. But if the people feel that not only are you sympathetic to their flight, but that you are also in agreement most of the time, whatever it is that is going to develop Liberia. If they see that, I think it will go a long way. And those things can only happen through proper communication process, through constant engagement with the Liberian public, through visiting from area to area by explaining yourself in those areas. Let them see who you are. I know he's not a young person, so traveling and things that might be a little bit difficult, but I think if President Weah can get an airplane to fly here and there, Liberian people should try to get Ambassador Baka to headquarters so he can be able to fly to those places as well, and not just to sit down Monrovia. Monrovia is not Liberia. He needs to go to the villages so that he will see that what is happening in Lofa County is not different than what is happening in Bon County, in Grand Jida, and all the other places. The suffering condition that is happening in Lofa County is the same suffering condition that is happening everywhere else. But he needs to fly to those places, experience them, see what the people really need. And I think he will be able to tailor his developmental agenda by, just by visiting the places, you'll be able to tailor his developmental agenda to suit the needs of our people. We need that. Because if you don't do that, those sycophants that will definitely put Ambassador Baka in a bubble will try to utilize that, use it for themselves through county development project, through county development fund. They will take it for themselves, and there's nothing you can do about it. They will bring in project, they will bring in a contract and give it to their friends. And you can't police all of them. You need Liberian people to be part of that, and they will help you to say, you can't do this. This is not what Ambassador Baker said. This is unacceptable. I think if we all do that, we all see this. It's not just Ambassador Baker, but that this is country for all of us, and we all need to come together and make sure that we do it right, so that we will not go back into trying to find another rescue number 2. Thank you very much for the wonderful time.
You see, when you see a guy being so repetitive that day, mean he had a bad night, and that's exactly. The liberal is fighting hard to do a clean up the mess he has caused this evening to, try to do a clean up here, but it's not working. No bleach, nothing here to wipe those stuff away. Amos George, what are we going through with?
Samson told them this analogy that has been drawn. So I just wonder why Samson told them, "Oh, we'll let go." Find excuses for people's behavior. Samson told, why you go to Town when you go to Liberia? Okay. So let me ask you. This analogy that draw all the people around the person, they put in a bubble. That's just a poor excuse people give. Every one of us now know where we came from. Because you want 2 steps forward, so you abandon that area, then you want to blame other people for you not going there. He's the same thing about George. All the people around George we are. Now he sing the scenes on now.
He's funny another shelter ground now.
Yes. Maybe grew up in Fiamma. But when he started, he will still go to Fiamma. He go to Wizard.
What have been
Wizard, Nigambo. He still goes there. There are people mentality who people decide to do certain things. That look, I'm this point, I ain't got time for that area. I can't time for the people. We should put it around the people that work with these people. Because if you say that you don't want to happen, I'm going to Town today, nobody will stop you. You are cutting the shot. But they said they don't want to go there. Oh, I can't talk to the person. I don't want to see them. Then y'all want to blame people? No, these are people's own action. But let me say this. You come back, the people are on the contract. No. We understand he doesn't have he will not be everywhere, but he got ears. He can ask questions. What happened to this thing? Oh, man, come explain to me why this thing is not going on. I'm going to send somebody to counter check why it's not going on. Who will stop you from doing that as a leader? So don't cast it too soon to start finding their excuse. Please. This man had told us we're not waiting now to put our Mercedes Benz on the road. And the Ferrari to put on the road now.
Oh my gosh.
Here we go. You came late. You came purposely late. Now you're going to with your 0 point. Mother said we should add 0 now, 0.1%. Now you're going to talk about race and all that.
Now you're coming open a Pandora box now for fighting. You see that?
Yeah. So you were talking, and he said it might come to campus talking about.
Why you interrupting me, Sansinto? Why?
Why? No, I'm just reminding you. 0.1%. Why?
I like how the car he used that Ferrari.
Yeah.
We Arizona coming gay Ferrari to want to use it or okay.
I know. So we're waiting for that Ferrari to get on the road. So please, all the Tapata, we don't want to hear again.
I know.
We are set to see Joseph Buckeye hitting the road. And for information, Samson, though, the Minister of Public announced today that they have secured the fund from Ganta to Town Road now to be paved. Today, the Minister of Public will announce. So maybe she will call you. Say they're not getting money. Since number 2, I said 4 years ago that the road was going to be paved before the campaign time. They're not getting that. So something to. But so, Mr. So, let me just close on this note. We are all waiting now for Honorable Boakai. 12 more days, bam, Mr. We attend all, we start moving forward. So, all the type of that something to talking, please. They say about being more before the 22nd, all you people name on the list. Something to. They say about being more before the 22nd to take up the tax. So that's it. But let me say this before I close. The death toll from the tourism accident has risen to 80% today.
Well, still?
Yeah. Today, it was 79 today. I think they buried one that made it 80. So it
I think, Mr. Josh, and I know I'll reach out to my brother Toto. I know I'm in several groups that they're raising money in. I've donated through several other places. I don't know how coordinated it is, but I really hope that the Bond County Association, at the national level, can utilize some of these networks instead of just doing it the way it's happening right now with inboxes and people. If you're not in a group, you don't know who to donate to. Like if I'm not in Bond County Association or their groups, I will be sitting out here thinking, where do I send money? The last time somebody was on another show asking where can they donate money. I think even though Mr. Tuto is not the president, I do know the president. I'll reach out to him, but I think really elders in the Bond County community need to let these people know that LPR, Mr. So and Mr. To have offered. I know there's so many platforms they can come on and we can do one day and they can put their cash app and their Zelle and their everything. LPR are not collecting it, but we can put our faces and just take a day. I think that will raise more money than what they're doing right now. They're doing a heck of a job by the way they're raising all the money, but I think it could do more. That's just my advice, and I'll call my brother, Dr. Toto, on the side and talk to the national president, but I hope they can move that to kind of put this thing on a platform or on several platforms and just try to raise some money.
Yes, just to pick back on you, this is some of the reason why many of us sacrifice time to do these conversations on these platforms, so that when there's any issue, we will be able to utilize the same platform that you come on every day. When you come from work, like you have kids, you come from work, you come out here to discuss Liberia issue. So if you are affected with any other issue from your area, we have all of us here as members of Liberia Public Radio, we're offering Liberia. So I think these type of platforms should be utilized to their fullest. We can, I'm sure if Mr. So is eyes, they'll do a 1 or 2 days program specifically for this accident issue. I'm sure he will agree. So, but we need to because we all come here every day talk about Liberia issue, and this is the platform. If we need to raise one, not just this platform, any other platform, I'm sure they'll be willing to work with it.
Yes, and for
but to also add to that, I think it will also be prudent on our part if we can launch a little small fund drive too, as Liberia Public Radio. We can launch a little small fund drive, and make a little donation to.
Yeah, buddy, you can do that. But we do have members of the Bond County community. Yeah, they are part of this platform.
No. That's a different thing I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the platform as an institution. I'm not talking about who is.
Marriage.
No.
Marriage.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that. By the time you go low debris, somebody just told you are raising funds for the. Do they consult the leadership with these people?
Mr. Sol.
We want to have it there. I think I offer a year. Even there was a lady one time called in here and say, hey, and I think we told Dr. Toto, we wanted to be coordinated. And part of the reason why people now, all kinds of people collect money and these monies are not being directed to the talking. So people goes out there under the pretense they are doing good for other people and no accountability. At the end of the day, then people ask them to account. Is it nobody? I myself took upon myself. Nobody asked you to do it.
Yeah. So what are you saying?
What I'm saying, we have made ourselves available. Dr. Toto is part of this network. Amos Josh is part of this network, and we have said it. When the leadership come, we can have this conversation. Whatever we do here, we put it out. Put it out. Whatever comes out, it goes to them. And even besides that, one, they can even come and tell us how far they are gone in terms of coordinating with the people back there, what is happening. But Amos George, most of 99% of the time here, before we close here, he will always give us some sort of briefing. They need to come out of their Bond County Association.
I mean, Mr. So, I really not coming from that background. The background I'm coming from here.
My background, not the same.
Yeah, the background coming from here on
the US flag.
Yeah. I want for us to launch a small. We don't need the authority to come here. We can raise a little small fund drive for this occasion and do our research where it should go. Then there they can come in as a consultant.
But Mali, you're missing a
point. You people are saying they should come this and that. That are not coming from that area there. The area I'm coming from here is this is a national crisis around. LPRC have decided to launch a small fund drive among ourselves. They want to be part of a fine. Who will contribute fine? We made that donation, and we can ask them where can it go. That's where I'm coming from. So it was saying
the point that I'm making, Mali.
Okay, go ahead, Lebro.
No, go ahead, finish.
So for me, one last thing though, I know I understand where Mali is and the way you're coming, but just to the point about for me, when they're coming out on the platform, they put this of face to it. For me, that's what I'm looking at, because in one of the groups, in one of the groups that I'm in, they have medical supplies, like this is full, and they were looking for people that are traveling to Liberia that could carry them, and they were going to pay for the excess baggage. But their communication was in a Bond County group. So if they have come to platforms like this and lay out, maybe there are other people who are even from Bond County but not in that Bond County group, other people from different countries that were leaving, I could say, you know what, I will take it and carry it to Total Time and give it to your people. For me, it's just about how do you make it a broader reach to a lot of people. That's all.
You see, Cecil, let me just say something here. So this concern, I was in it.
Man, I got to leave.
Okay.
No, don't your background. You need to tell all your background.
I know, but you said no. So what?
No, there's sort of way of shortcutting thing and things that we want to do good, but sometimes we do it the wrong way.
Why?
We are an institution. What I can agree with, and we have done that several times here. If you say individual members here say we should do it, that's a different thing. But where we want to intercede and raise money, we can't just get out and do it. We can't just get out and do it.
No, as an institution, I don't know what's the problem there. Not as an
even if you're going to be raising the money, you got people that will be donating.
That's part B.
People that are going to, you're asking
that is part B.
Okay, we will.
I'm not interested in that era there.
Right,
what I'm interested in
this
is an institution. The institution can come up with a little pause.
When they deacon start putting on
let me make some clarity. Let me make some clarity. When we had the first business,
I see you, man.
I told Dr. Toto, he directed me to somebody. I called a young man last time we spoke. He said that's a brilliant idea, but let me get in touch with the representative other people on the ground to know exactly what the needs are and what we're going to be asking for. I said, perfect. When you get to them, when you're ready, he told me it was last week. He said he was going to get to me last Wednesday. Since that I not heard from him. So I will call Dr. Toto again because I was not in the middle going on Sunday. But I have made an effort. I told Dr. Toto that you, Mr. So, and other people, I agree. But he directed me to somebody that is in charge. And I spoke to the young man. He said he was going to get by me last Wednesday. I have not heard from him. So I will call Dr. Toto to talk to him. So not that I have not made an effort, but I reached out to him. Now look at what he is saying. Somebody in the group said they got medical supply. They were looking for somebody. I think probably if I were in that group, I would have found somebody because somebody was already on their way to Liberia years ago. But hey, again, it's just one of those things. But that's how
Okay, guys, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. Good night.
Yeah, Deborah, thank you. Amos George, thank you. Sissy, thank you so much. And to all of our viewers, listeners, if this is the first time we say it, we are glad to have you here. Your comments, your tweets, your interactions with us directly, indirectly, and your peers is vital to the national conversations in Liberia. And along these sort of civil context conversations are held, we make a progress. We can arrive at a reasonable understanding. Or begin to sanction voices and just only to be the one for people to listen to and not to listen to the opposing side, then we are not ready to make that. So, folks, every good thing must come to an end. Fatu, to good evening, and to all of you. If this is the first time, subscribe to Liberia Public Radio. I follow us on Facebook, YouTube, our LinkedIn, and Twitter. LRB Messenger. You can also send in your suggestions as well. If you want to be a contributor here, analysts or panelists, let us know. We are open. The only thing, we don't have money. You give to your community, to your country, to your city by having these national conversation. And we accommodate, no matter who you are, your political ideology, it doesn't matter. All we demand when people come here, we ask them to establish their identity. We do not want to leave our audience in some sort of apprehension. You're talking like, be straight, whichever party you support. We don't want to confuse our audience. Let them know who you are, what you stand for. It is better. So we try as much as possible to let them establish their true identity. Until then, it's 10:39 Eastern Standard Time. We want to thank you so much for being here with us this evening. Have a pleasant. Even by God's willing, we'll be back here. The Liberal will be back here for more programming tomorrow. And then Friday, I'll be right back here. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Fiber Queen of Woodland. Everyone that's looking for a nice African for wedding, whatever fiber you need, you can just come over here. You have all this nice stuff. If you need ashebi, you guys can come over here for baby shower, for wedding. You guys are welcome. She have really nice stuff. You can see all over there, all those men over here. You don't have to go to the theater and then Nicole will be telling you all kind of stories. You can just come here. They're already made. And for ladies, you can just look for whatever fiber you're looking for and match it for the men. And, your husband already have a shirt made. You can get stuff for your kids. You can get stuff for the whole family. We have African slippers and ashobi hair ties all over. We have different kinds of lists and everything. So you guys are welcome, okay? It's really nice. It's Fiber Queen on 6695 off of Woodland. 6625 Woodland Avenue, okay? So you guys are welcome. You have nice stuff here for ladies, for men, for kids, and for everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia is 100% African-owned business. At Fabric Queen, we are specialized in high-quality wax product, Swiss lace, jewelry, and beauty products that will make you shine like the queen of fabrics. We are located at 6625 on Woodlands Avenue, 10 Philadelphia. Telephone number 215-800-0228. Tell the management of Fabrics Queens in Philadelphia is easy and salt of the Liberia Public Radio gives you this message. Tell all Akwaba.